Good morning. March 28th. I'm just back from being away for a week, and my wife watered and turned the lights on and off on the seedlings, and I thought I'd give an update. So here we are. The light is coming in nicely, so it shows the leaves well. For some reason, I said this was a south-facing window. I realized it's an east-facing window, so I get nope, it's a west-facing window, so I get the afternoon sun. Big variety in who's sprouted and who hasn't, and that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. If you look at this one, so here we have Rumney number 2. There was some mold on it. I suspected they wouldn't do well. The burrs had opened, fallen on the ground. I didn't even find them for a couple of weeks, and apparently they had dried out and got mold on them. So if we're lucky, we're going to have one survivor out of those 9. These little ones that look like this generally don't make it. It's hardly worth trying. Here is another one of the same group. So we have a couple of little ones that might make it, and they might not. There's one that certainly hasn't made it. Now we come to, these are some that Mark Meal had collected in Windham, Massachusetts, planted March 6th, and they're looking great. All bending heavily toward the light. In fact, by this afternoon, they will have been even more to the light. It's amazing. If I turn the whole plant pot around with the 9 pots in it, they'll have made 180 and bent toward the light just by in one day, how quickly they can bend. Some people wonder the reddish color of the leaves. I think that's actually a great sign. That's newly developing, fast-growing leaves tend to have that nice red color to them. Here's a pot that came from Hope Yandel in Vermont, and these are some pretty special nuts that she'd sent, and they're doing very well. They're growing very well. This would be, well, I haven't got the pot. I now realize as I turn the pots around so that the plants face the light properly, I need to put labels on all 4 sides. But there's the biggest, well, not the biggest, but there's very nicely growing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just going on 8 leaves. Here are 2 more pots that I'm shipping out. I hadn't shown any in the video, so just for the record, there's one going to Marley Rabinowitz in Guilford, Vermont, and one going to Mary Frund in Nashua, New Hampshire. They do have kind of long radicals, maybe an inch long, which makes it a little more tricky. Just make sure when you receive them to get the tip of the radical pointing down. That's the most important thing. There's some of the plants that are growing in the big containers. In fact, there's one they're doing very nicely. Now, I don't know if you can see the plant shaking. Actually, what happens is I have a mini split mounted on the wall, and when that fan goes on, I actually notice it's enough of a movement to make the leaves shake a little. And apparently it's real helpful to have some movement to the stems. The hormones or whatever react to the back and forth of the stem to toughen it up and make it stronger. If you have no wind of any kind on your seedlings, they tend to grow maybe too tall and too straight without a very strong main stem, and then when you transplant them out into windy environments, they don't do well. So last year I had my plants next to a window that I could open, and that seemed to get plenty of movement on the leaves. I don't know if you guys, well, today's Monday, and we're having really strong winds out there today. My next video, I'll go out and we'll take a look at what the outside plants are doing. But anyways, you can take a fan like this. That was from the hardware store. I think it was $25 or something. And turn it on and get the leaves moving. And this oscillates back and forth. And I don't know if you can see, but those leaves pretty quickly, that might be a little more like a hurricane, but you can figure it out. So the leaves do move. And I think that's a good idea to do it a couple hours a day. Some kind of a house fan, pretty much anything to get them moving, or open the window. Okay, lights. I've now, that's part of the fun of this, the trial and error. I've moved those lights as high as they can go. Now that I think about it, each of the LED lights is 2,000 watts, so that's 2,000 watt light bulbs. That seems like an awful lot, and I think last year I probably way over lighted the plants. I would keep it on 12 hours a day, and being closer to the plants, I've now raised it up quite high and really just turn it on manually a couple times. I mean, during the day for maybe 3 or I would say between 4 and 8 hours is probably good. Now, if you're getting good sunlight, you can certainly cut back on that. But these LEDs give an awfully funny color. But so between keeping them watered, and I don't know, you can't really tell, but these are moist to the touch, so that's good. And having some air movement on them and giving them some light, that's about all they need. Pretty quick. In fact, probably the next video I will start fertilizing these with liquid fertilizer. Not yet, they don't seem to need it. They're still drawing on the reserves in the chestnut itself. This one down on the bottom, I have experimented with, I put in one of the Miracle Grow with moisture control, and I suspect in the future I might find, well, we'll see. But right now these are just the regular old inexpensive growing medium that's mostly peat moss and then a little vermiculite and perlite mixed in. So, good luck, and we'll talk later.